Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Oh, I can tell I'm going to be on a roll today. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Las Vegas. What's going on? It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Very excited to have you joining us wherever you are on KDAWN or the Odyssey app. If you haven't downloaded the Odyssey app, well, golly gee whiz, it's Christmas time. Santa's not going to bring you any presents. You got to get that thing. AUDACY. Download it right now to catch all the great shows on KDAWN and from many around the world. It is a terrific app, so get that AUDACY. And we are also streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook, which I tried to screw up right off the bat, but that's okay. You know, I was up a little late watching Survivor Series last night. And we're going to get to talk about that and a whole lot more. And we had a very special guest interview we did for hour number 2, Arda Ocal from ESPN. Yeah, the Sports Center guy. That's right. He's going to be joining us on the show, so we'll look forward to having him on. And, of course, I've got my two good pals right here. Let's get them in the game, of course, from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down there in Austin, Texas. One of the few teams to not choke it off yesterday, those Longhorns. Stu Myrick is on the board. Stu, how are you?
The Aggie tears are flowing because 13 years after Justin Tucker killed them, the Texas Longhorns go into Kyle Field and dominate those Texas A&M Aggies.
Wow, bitter.
For a berth in the SEC championship.
Yeah, hopefully they don't screw that up.
Hey, by the way.
Yeah.
To twist that knife a little more.
Sure.
The Aggies have been in the SEC since 2012. They have still not played for an SEC championship. Texas Longhorns, first year in the conference, and the title is in sight.
That's because you guys cheated. Let's bring in Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows, Josh Rosenbaum. I got him already. Let's get everybody wound up this morning. It's all good.
Hey,
Coach,
talk
what's up?
About first year in the conference. I'm a proud Sun Devil. And Stu, it's an honor in the first year to be in the Big 12 championship game down at Jerry World. I was already checking airline tickets. It looks like the entire 602 will be flying down, because there are no tickets going to Dallas because the Sun Devils are going to win the Big 12 championship and go on to the playoffs. What do you think, Stu? Both our teams dominated.
To the Sun Devils.
Oh.
1 year after the Longhorns won the Big 12 title, The Undertaker handing Quinn Ewers that beautiful championship belt. Yeah, that's going to be a big game. And, it's the Big 12 championship in Jerry World's always a big doing. Jerry loves having those events because, of course, he gets paid. But yeah, that'll be a fun game next Saturday. And yeah, a berth in the college football playoff on the line.
That's all right. Just wait until my Penn State Nittany Lions, who were handed a gift at Christmas time. Man, I'll tell you what, I love Ohio State. They're just the greatest college on the planet. But we've all got teams playing for the for championships this weekend. That's awesome.
I was watching NFL Network earlier, and Rich Eisen just laying it on Ohio State. He's a Michigan alum, so he was laying it on Ohio State.
Yeah, crazy football weekend to say the least. But yeah, so we're all getting to celebrate a little bit. But I don't know if I'm celebrating after last night, because of course we had a lot going on over the past 8 days. AEW Full Gear was last Saturday. We had TNA Turning Point Friday night and Survivor Series last night. And I'm going to start at Survivor Series. I was reading a lot of reviews on it, guys, and I gotta say, I'm not sure where a lot of these high grades were coming in. People giving B's and A's to some of these matches. I'm gonna be frank. I really enjoyed one match last night. One. And it wasn't either of the War Games matches. It was the Braun Breaker Intercontinental title match. I enjoyed that one with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. The rest of it was kind of, I don't know. I don't know what it was, guys. There were just a lot of weird things that happened last night, and I think some character misplays. I just didn't enjoy it. So before we break it down, let me go to you first, Coach. Did you like Survivor Series last night?
I thought it was very safe. The stories just kind of were very formulaic. I don't know if they were worried about not giving away a lot with so many people watching football and UFC at night, but it wasn't there weren't many twists and turns. But for the casual fan, with the little vignettes they had before the matches, you can get fully immersed in the storyline and know what was going on. And I didn't think Roman's bloodline would win, but they did, and let's see where it goes from here.
They did decisively. Stu, what did you like it? I mean, feel free to say if I'm wrong, but
I agree, and I agree with Coach. There was a lot of confidence, and I'll be honest, I was split. I was watching Texas and Texas A&M, so I've got Texas A&M on the TV. I got Survivor Series on the iPad. It was safe. I've said it before. Survivor Series, it's when it comes to like storyline stuff, it's a little like Crown Jewel in the sense that you kind of put a soft pause on some storylines so you can generate whatever you need for the War Games matches. So there's that. Yeah, the Intercontinental title match, that was really good. All three guys just laid it out there. I think most everybody saw Nakamura winning the U.S. title from LA Knight. I don't think anybody expected Damian Priest to win the world title. So it was safe. I always do letter grades. I'll give it a solid B.
Okay, that's fair. I just could not get into this last night, and I think you start with the women's match. And for those that don't know what a War Games match is, it's a 5-on-5 match. You have two rings. You have a giant steel cage that comes down and covers the two rings. You put one person in at a time. One from each team starts, and then every 3 minutes, one person from one team comes in. So it's 2-on-1, and they keep going like that until everybody's in. Once everybody's in, then you can get a pinfall or submission and win the match. So that's how the War Games matches work. So the first one led off last night was the women's War Game match. And it just seemed to me, I think I read Shaquille Majuri on CBSSports.com said it was disjointed. And I thought that was a really good word for it because there were just a lot of choppy spots. And I mean, there were some cool things some people did in there too. I mean, I thought Rhea looked great. I thought Tiffany Stratton looked great. Io Sky did some okay stuff. Liv did some okay stuff. But I don't know. It was just that match just seemed like it was, we're going to do this spot. And then we're going to do this spot. And then we're going to do this spot. And they had the high spot where Io decided to put the trash can on her head again. On one side, Tiffany Stratton jumped off the other. But just magically, the other 8 women are in groups of 4 that they jump into in each ring. Just, I don't know how that happened all at once. And, I hate those spots. It drives me nuts. So I think it advanced Rhea and Liv because, Rhea's coming back after her. But said otherwise, it didn't work for me. It just did not work.
So the War Games matches, and they're kind of hard to book, and I'm going all the way back to the days of Crockett when it was started by Dusty Rhodes as a part of the Great American Bash back then when they would do the tour. Then it was, the Horsemen versus Dusty, Nikita, and the Road Warriors, and Precious Paul, by the way. So they're hard to book. They are spot fest to a small extent, and I think nowadays that's what you're going to get. It's more of a spot fest and less of chain wrestling or whatever. So I think you know those that have watched wrestling for a while, I think you go in with the expectation you'll see a lot of spots. You probably won't see a lot of logical chain wrestling, but you'll see some spots, and yeah, EO coming off the top rope with the trash can. That's that was a big highlight. I'll be honest, and I know jumping ahead a little bit, I'll be honest, I was surprised that both babyface teams won because I fully expected Solo's Bloodline to get the win in the men's match. But good on Team Bianca. And, they were harping on the whole, Jade Cargill out with injury, who attacked Jade Cargill. And every time they said that, all I could do was think of Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca, I think that's how they're gonna create this feud. It'll be Bianca revealed as the person that attacked Jade.
I wouldn't mind seeing it be Naomi. Coach, am I right or wrong on my assessment of this match?
Well, we got an expression in sports called brother-in-lawing, where you kind of take it easy on your teammate. It almost seemed like when you said it was disjointed, and they were trying to do some spots, but they didn't go full speed. They almost missed some of the moves because they were really trying to be safe, which I understand, be safe, but it was almost like they made it look like it was almost scripted instead of going full speed and just letting it go. And whatever happens, you make the most of it. It seemed very choreographed. And when it seems choreographed and it looks choreographed, you lose my interest.
Yeah, and I don't just,
and a lot of it has to do with the rhythm of the entrance too. So you're doing the 2-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-2. I think that throws a lot of that off.
Yeah. So, and there was
did they always have the cage on the stage? Because that was I liked the stadium entrance thing, but the cage was kind of awkward.
That's a WWE thing. They did not do that in WCW. They didn't do it in Crockett. In Crockett, it was actually the rest of the team stood ringside until it was time to let somebody in. And I think WCW did the same thing. The other change, of course, WWE. So Crockett and WCW had a roof on the cage, whereas WWE doesn't.
Yeah,
because they can do the high spots.
There was one other spot that I just want to mention before we move on this match. Was when Tiffany pulled out her Money in the Bank briefcase, which everybody went crazy because Liv Morgan and Nia Jax were both on the ground. They were out cold. And she digs into a trash can and pulls out the Money in the Bank briefcase. Stu, you are a commentator. How would you like to explain to everybody that Tiffany is cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase? There are 2 champions in the ring and 10 wrestlers. And all of a sudden it is a championship match, which is I thought it was funny for a second. Then I realized what a logistical nightmare that would have been. Thank God they didn't try it.
It was, I think it was done just to get the pop out of the crowd.
Yeah.
Because you're right. In the way the match is flowing, it makes absolutely no sense. Not to mention, she stood there for what seemed like half an hour.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who she was going to cash in on. And you can see the ref, he's looking at her, but at the same time, he's got to pay attention to everything else that's happening in the ring. So that was a spot they could have done without.
Yeah.
Because I think it led more like what Coach was saying. It led more into the whole, okay, this is not, it's looking too scripted. So yeah, it didn't make any sense. I probably would have called that out a little bit. I would have said, look, this makes, but, and again, like I said, Tiffany stood there forever,
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. I guess she was waiting on whoever was going to prevent her from cashing in.
Yeah, it would have been a fiasco. It would have been. I mean, I almost wonder though. It would have been kind of interesting to see how they would have handled something like that. But thank God they didn't do it. But one thing we got to do is we have to take a break with Stu Myrick and Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum from Ad Free Shows, and of course Stu doing his great show, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, down there in Austin, Texas. I want to remind everybody that if you're going to get ready to do a little bit of traveling yourself, it is the holidays. Hey, check out the Travel Shark. Go to the travelshark.com/Mark Hoke, Hoke Show, and you can get amazing discounts. It's powered by Priceline. You get the employee and the secret rates without having to mess around. You actually get to see them and get the great deals. So do me a favor, head over to the travelshark.com/Hoke Show and sign up today. And I promise you, you're going to save a ton of money in the holidays than any other travel you have. All right, let's get that break in. We come back, more on Survivor Series. We got a new United States champion who just came back from a hiatus for 3 weeks, and he gets the gold off LA Knight. We'll talk about it when we come back. Stick around for more on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas.
FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to hour number one of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, and also streaming on the Odyssey app and on YouTube, Facebook, X. You can subscribe to us all over the place at Mark Hoke Show or the Mark Hoke Show, depending on which venue you're looking for. It's not too hard to find. Just go to markhokeshow.com. You can just click on them all. It's great. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in the house, from adfreeshows.com. Josh Rosenbaum, real Coach Rosey on X. We're talking about Survivor Series. And now that I just rambled on about match number one, match two, we have LA Knight losing the United States Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke was apparently on a hiatus somewhere in the Japanese hills and returned to become a Superman, and he is now the U.S. champion. But, Shinsuke's looking good. Don't get me wrong. I am thrilled that Shinsuke has gotten a championship. But, guys, how much does this hurt LA Knight? They're painting a picture of him losing his confidence. They kind of mocked him a little bit when he dropped the U.S. title getting into the ring. Coach, how good is this for LA Knight? Because all of a sudden he went from being the super confident superstar to, he needs therapy.
Well, sometimes you need a new coat of paint, and that whole gimmick that he was doing, people only cheered for him for that intro. Once it got to the match and it was past his introduction, cheering and pops went down. So who knows? Maybe a Rocky story comes out of it, and he makes a run toward Gunther or Cody, or gets a chance at pulling in a tag team partner, and maybe go to the Alpha Academy and get some confidence from Chad Gable. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud, but there's plenty of opportunities for LA Knight to get his confidence back through one storyline or another.
Stu, your thoughts on this match and the situation that they're putting LA Knight in?
I've been a fan of LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him. I've been a fan of his since his TNA days. But Coach is right. The matches just weren't generating a lot of buzz. He's a fun entrance and and all that good stuff. I am the one guy that has said there have been way too many heel turns in the last several years. I'm almost willing to say maybe that's what will help LA Knight. Maybe he needs a heel turn.
Wow.
On the other side, Nakamura, 2-time U.S. champion now. He's getting ready to go back to Pro Wrestling Noah to face Sasaki on New Year's Day. So, it's likely he will carry that belt to Japan for Noah's January 1 show. And that'll be kind of cool to see, Nakamura come out, in Noah with that U.S. title. So it was funny. I saw somebody on social media comparing Nakamura's current look to the Great Kabuki.
Oh, wow.
Who terrorized World Class way back in the day.
Oh, I remember the Great Kabuki.
And it's just, same red paint. He's using the mist, which Kabuki was one of the originals. And yeah, I can see the similarities. It looked like maybe Nakamura looked up some old World Class tapes.
How about you make Paul Ellering look like Gary Hart? Doctor him up and really bring back the nostalgia, or put a hologram of Gary Hart out there. That would be awesome.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Okay. The hologram would be creepy. Good try. Good try on that one, Coach.
And Ellering's got the bald head already.
Yeah.
Gary did.
Right.
So, hey, why not?
Yeah, Ellering would be fun with that. But, yeah, so we have a new United States champion and a shaken LA Knight. We'll see if he gets stirred later on. What I thought was the match of the night, and some people did, some people didn't. I really enjoyed this one, was the Intercontinental Championship match between Braun Breaker, Ludwig Kaiser, and Sheamus. These guys did lay it out there, man. I mean, the shillelagh shots, by the way. Sheamus brought a shillelagh to the ring, and Ludwig Kaiser just lit him up late in the match, man. He was welting all over the place. It was bad. But Braun Breaker comes out winning this match, and my biggest thing that I took from this, other than Sheamus's Intercontinental title chase continues to get the Grand Slam, was, God, Braun Breaker is just phenomenal. What power, speed, charisma. I mean, that man moves like very few people I've ever seen in a ring. I mean, that's pushing Darby Allin's speed with some of the stuff that he does. I cannot say enough about Braun Breaker last night. Stu?
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of funny, with the speed he has. I'm a little surprised when he did go to training camp. It was with the Ravens, I think. I'm a little surprised he didn't find his way at least onto a practice squad with that speed, but it could be in technique or something. But yeah, Braun Breaker showing off that speed, it's otherworldly. The match was fantastic. Lots of just good old fashioned fighting. Ludwig Kaiser is an interesting story because Gunther kind of told him, yes, you need to go find your own self, and I get that. I do wonder if we're going to see more of Ludwig Kaiser, kind of by himself. I do wonder how much heat he can get as a heel. I really do think they need to find a way sometime to put that IC title on Sheamus, if for no other reason, just let him complete the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I would definitely say that was match of the night.
Coach, your thoughts on the son of the dog-faced gremlin and the nephew of Big Papa Pump?
Well, in the wise words of JR, he's a blue chipper, and and definitely Sheamus is tougher than a $2 steak, because you can definitely see the difference between the women's War Games match and this match. These guys laid it on the line. There's a picture of Sheamus with all the welts on his chest on social media.
Jesus, it was bad.
Ludwig Kaiser proved to the guys in the back and to the internet wrestling community that he can take bumps and he can deliver some hard-hitting action. And Braun Breaker is just continuing his ascent to whatever title. You put him with any storyline, and he's going to bring instant credibility because he is a homegrown. Everyone talks about AEW's homegrown star. Well, this is WWE's homegrown star, Braun Breaker. And you'll see the way that he ascends a little bit differently than Darby has in them. He's going to get the rocket strapped to him, and he's going to have a run at some point like Cody, I'd say.
I totally agree. But, yeah, I thought that was the best match of the night, no doubt about it. Then we went on to the fourth match of the evening, which was Gunther and Damian Priest, and apparently Gunther needs a therapist too, because he's all rattled from losing to Cody Rhodes. And before I get into this match, this was the problem that I had with Cody and Gunther facing off at Crown Jewel. One of them loses. One of them gets diminished a little bit. And now all of a sudden, Gunther is getting booked like, I don't know, man. My confidence is a little shaken off. I don't know if I can do it anymore. And it's like, this was the appeal of Gunther to me was the invulnerability, the unflappability. And you take that away and you are totally changing this monster who should be on top of WWE. I don't want to see him need a break here or there because he never did. It bothers me, and I knew that when they did that at Crown Jewel that they were going to pull something like this, and they did it. And, Gunther gets out with the championship against Damian Priest, but we had the injury angle. We had interference from Finn Balor, and Gunther just grabbing onto the title after it was over like, I just got out of here. I was lucky to make it. And that was what threw me off last night on that match. That was really what threw me off. Coach, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you here because once they started giving Gunther the mic, you have to show that he's got a chink in the armor. Because when he was just a silent assassin, you knew that he was just going to chop the hell out of people and win his match. But now his bravado is starting to come out, and that was the initial long-term storytelling. Chink in the armor, he loses. Now we get to see that he's human, and there's doubt in the matches. Is he going to win? Is he going to lose? I didn't have any doubt last night with Damian Priest, but if you put Braun Breaker up against him before, I would think, man, this might be a toss-up. But now I'm going Braun Breaker to win that because I can see that invincibility cloud is gone. He's not Goldberg. Goldberg walked the walk and talked the talk. His presentation was a lot different. They changed the presentation, which I kind of enjoy.
All right. Stu.
I agree a little bit with you, Mark, but I think that got remedied with him beating Damian. As I said, that was probably the one match that had the least amount of anticipation, I would say. I don't think anybody expected Damian Priest to walk out of there with the world title. Now, having Finn Balor come out to help, to hurt Damian, does that take away a little bit? Yeah, maybe. But I think that was a blip just to try to generate some belief that, Damian's got a chance. And I think now that that match is over, I think we will go back to seeing Gunther as the unbeatable, the monster that he is. So I'm not too worried about the image of Gunther. I'll be honest, I'm a little worried about Damian because it looks like they're going to put him back in this feud with Finn, which that's fine. I guess that's fine. It's only been since SummerSlam, so you're talking 3 months. Well, I guess 4 now. So that's not so bad, but let's not drag this out much longer.
Agreed. But you got to wonder if Finn Balor's going to get a run here at Gunther. Now, I've been saying for a while, I think it would be great to see him win another world championship after what happened to him when he won the Universal title and got hurt and only held it for a day. So, I hear what you guys are saying. I want my big bad Gunther. I'm good. we had the main event, and of course the battle of the bloodlines with CM Punk joining Roman Reigns' team, and Paul Heyman getting them on the same page, and we have Bronson Reed on the other side with Solo Sikoa's bloodline. And I don't know, guys. Once again, this match just didn't do it for me. Some cool spots, but I feel like Roman's getting watered down here too. Oh, everybody's equal. No, they're not. Roman is a wrestling god. I'm sorry. You can't put Jey Uso on the same level as Roman Reigns. You can't do it. And they're trying, but it's not working. I mean, Jey just took a loss on SmackDown the night before to blow the advantage for those guys. And I don't know. There's just something. This just feels off for me with Roman Reigns too. And then you had Solo Sikoa, who the rest of his team's all beat down, but he's the tribal chief, and he gets 5-on-1 to lose the match. And I think that hurts Solo a little bit. You know, I'm going to be interested to see where they take all this after this is over. But I said just a few things in this match threw me off too, Stu.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'll be honest. I was a little surprised that it was the OG Bloodline going over. I think it was a matter of we want to send the crowd home happy. I'll be interested to see what favor CM Punk wants from Paul Heyman. That'll be a fun little nugget to follow.
Ice cream bars.
As far as like Roman looking weaker or Solo or whatever, I'm not worried about Solo. Because I think you get to SmackDown and Solo and the Solo's bloodline wreck shop, then the heat's back. You know, I think it's the 5-on-1. I don't think that hurt Solo because again, it was 5-on-1. You know, I mean, I don't care who you are. You know, it's 5-on-1, and everybody hit their finisher on him. So, you know, that was to, again, send the crowd home happy. Roman, I think the simple fact he lost at WrestleMania, took all that time off, I think that kind of led to, it's not Jey Uso trying to make it. I think it's simple fact. He's not the champion, you know? So, yeah, there is a little bit of a, it's more of a leveling. Roman came down a notch. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Jay and Sammy rose a notch to bring them even. I think I get the story they're trying to tell. I think it's a matter of Roman Reigns needs to realize that the way he ran the bloodline with the manipulation and the gaslighting and all that, that's not going to work anymore. I mean, Jey Uso is main event Jey Uso for a reason. So I think that's what we're trying to tell is Roman is slowly coming to that realization that maybe he's got to let Jay and Jimmy and Sammy do their thing and trust in the process.
And by the way, Bionic Scoop in the chat box says the 5v1 was fine with me. He offered peace. Solo chose violence. Fun assessment there by the great photographer, Bionic Scoop. Coach,
I agree with Scoop.
Coach, what'd you think?
After thinking about it last night, I think they just wanted to kind of put a pause on that story to really focus on Cody versus Kevin for Saturday night main event. You know, but with them just kind of, Solo's going to take a little week or two off maybe, or they might want to shotgun a match with Roman and Punk for Saturday night main event, along with the Cody Kevin Owens to make this super dynamic NBC boom. You never know. But I thought the match was fun. Nothing I can really add to it. What's been said has been said. It was unexpected that Roman's team won because I thought the story would have a little bit more steam or some kind of special guest. Nothing, just simple ending, and ran the play and ran it to perfection.
All right. I didn't like it. That's okay. I guess I'm too into the psychological end of it, but well, it's all good. I mean, like I said, it was okay, but I just some things kind of tweaked me. But you know what? We're not sitting in that room booking this out, so we don't know what's coming. So maybe there's some clues and hints and things like that. We'll see how it goes. All right, we do have to get another break, and want to remind everybody, by the way, the Mark Hoke Show late night show is going to be back this week. Now we're through the holidays and some crazy stuff at the station. So don't forget, that'll be Thursday night at 8 o'clock Pacific time. We'll have a great time there. It should be fun. So tune in on the internet, on our social media, X, Facebook, and YouTube. Guys, we'll be right back with the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off-Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115, or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.
I'm Greg. I'm 68 years old. Grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Majored in business administration. I do motivational speaking in addition to substitute teaching. Part of the reason for my motivational speaking is I kind of feel like I have a calling or giving back to the younger generation. You know, the golden rule is do unto others, you'd have them do unto you. My wife, Wanda, is a senior flight attendant. She's been flying for over 30 years. We do laugh quite a bit. I think most adults will start realizing that they don't recall things as quickly as they used to, or they don't remember things as vividly as they once did. I've been taking Prevagen for about 3 years now. People say to me periodically, man, you got a memory like an elephant. It's really, really helped me tremendously.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Greg Fraley is a paid testimonialist and real Prevagen user, based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For the past 3 seasons of Gone South, we've covered one story per season. Now, Gone South is back for a 4th season. But this time, we're doing things a little differently. In Gone South Season 4, we'll be bringing you new stories every week, with no end in sight. Listen to and follow Gone South, an Odyssey original podcast, on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
101.5 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Oh, man, this is going to be a great show. I'll tell you what, we are having a blast here on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, KDAWN, and, of course, we're streaming on the Odyssey app, and we're also streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X, so make sure you catch us all over the place there. And if you happen to be sitting around and want to make some comments in the chat box, feel free to do so. We would certainly welcome that, so hop on in, have a great time. By the way, 200th episode of the show coming up in 2 weeks, guys. We gotta figure out a little party or something here. Do something cool. Something way better than the 150, I'll tell you that. But that's going to be great. By the way, coming up hour number 2, Arda Ocal from ESPN will be joining us. You've seen him on Sports Center, and of course, as part of that 30 under 30 article that they put out, where they picked the 30 top wrestlers under 30 years old, which was a very interesting topic of discussion on the internet. So you might want to check that article out, and then we're going to talk to Arda about that. So that should be a lot of fun. And by the way, Brett Raymer, who has recovered from his kidney stone of Tanked fame, will be on the show next week. So we're going to have Brett in the studio. That should be a great time. See, all sorts of fun stuff going on, fellas.
There you go. Way to go.
Yeah. So Stu Myrick, Josh Rosenbaum joining us. WWE has announced that we've got an Intercontinental Championship for the ladies. Some people are saying it's too many titles. I'm okay with it. Are you guys excited about a women's Intercontinental Championship? Coach, what do you think?
Why not? I'm always good for a good story if they book it right. If they just want to flip flop it and really not keep it with the theme of what the Intercontinental Championship means, at least for the men's title, I think would be a waste. But find a workhorse. I don't know what you'd call it for a woman, but that kind of female to be the Intercontinental champ.
Stu, you like an IC champ for the ladies?
I like the concept. So now you have secondary titles for the women on all three brands, with North American title, NXT, the U.S. title, and now the IC title. I like the concept. I do wonder, your women's rosters on both Raw and SmackDown are not that deep, and now you're adding another title. I wonder how that's going to come out, because it's not like you focus on a bunch of women. You focus usually on the same 5 or 6 every show. So that concerns me, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I am full on Natty's team. I want to tell you to win this championship. Hearing a lot of, and actually I pulled the roster up. There's quite a few ladies they have to select from there. Some possible candidates: Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross is out there. Of course, Rhea's still there. Scarlett. A lot of people want them to call Shayna Baszler's number on this. Now you got Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, Selena Vega. There's a pretty talented group of ladies that you could possibly go with.
They may have, but they don't focus on them. You'll see Pure Fusion Collective every now and again. Usually if you see Kyrie or Io, it's they're together as Damage Control, except for last night.
Have they announced who's in the tournament yet?
You don't see Natalya. I mean, we see Natalya when they're in Canada. That's about it. So that's what I'm saying. They don't focus on the depth of that roster. They focus on the same 5 or 6 women.
Maybe that's part of the point of doing these secondary titles, to get more focus on some different people.
Maybe. They haven't done it in the past. So now, and I agree, I understand it's a different era, different people in charge. I'm going to take a wait and see approach on this.
Coach?
I'm just going to spit in the wind and say this is the bridge to bring Charlotte back.
That would be interesting. But boy, do you think people would really want Charlotte to win that title though?
No. And I like Charlotte, but no.
Okay.
Well, I love Charlotte too, but
I mean, she's got 14 world titles. She's close to matching her father. I think the crowd would turn on her in a heartbeat if she wins, either the IC or the United States titles.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Coach, you disagree.
I'm just going to bookmark this time and we'll see who's right.
There you go. As I said, I would love to see Natty get it. I think that would be a very fitting person to wear that IC belt for the first time. But that's just me. But I do like Shayna Baszler in that slot too. I think she'd be pretty good. She really got screwed over in that first run and just got left in a bad place. So she'd be
They need to split her out of that collective. Make her the badass she was in NXT and let her just tear house.
Yeah. I still remember the Elimination Chamber match where she beat 5 other women and did it decisively. I mean, that was one of the coolest victories I've ever seen. And then for some reason, Vince soured on her. I don't know if it was that Kevin Dunn philosophy or what the deal was, but yeah, it was sad to see because she is a very talented person. So we'll find out as we go on with hopefully they'll announce who's going to be in the tournament this week. So should be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that was Survivor Series. And man, I'll tell you what, a lot of questions going to be left. But Saturday night's main event coming up in a couple weeks. And then guys, it's almost time for the Royal Rumble. Can you believe that? Man, we are so close. That's going to be a lot of fun. Before we head to break, I do want to make a quick announcement especially for everybody in Las Vegas. We got some bad news that a former FSW champion, Shogun, was in a really bad car accident. And we want to wish him all the best. He's apparently in pretty bad shape over in Maryland or at the UMC. So, I mean, and he's a friend of mine. I really like the guy, and we want to wish him all the best. So, real name Stan Victor. And if you can, I don't know if there's been any. I don't think there's been any GoFundMe's or anything like that put up yet. But we want to wish Shogun all the best. He's a terrific person, and he's a fighter. He's a very strong man. So we hope he pulls through okay. But we want to wish homie Show all the best. So. Yeah, it was tough. Seeing pictures, of course, he's good friends with Chris Bay too. So, yeah, a little bit of a rough time to see some of that stuff. But good luck, Shogun, man. We're all counting on you, brother. You're going to make it. So,
kick out, champ. You can do it.
He can. That is for sure. All right, we're going to take a break for hour number 2 as we get ready for Arda Ocal. Coach, thanks for being on. Where can everybody follow you there, real quick?
Real Coach Rosey on X is pretty much where I do all my wrestling talk.
All right. So make sure you check that out and go follow the coach. And Stu and I will be back. We've got Arda Ocal joining us, and then we're going to make sure to get to talk about Turning Point from TNA and a couple other things. Stick around, everybody. We've got a lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show. Follow us on Facebook at Mark Hoke Show. Also YouTube, same at X at Mark Hoke Show, and go to markhokeshow.com. We'll be right back for hour 2. Stick around, everybody.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.